All right, we're going to continue to monitor Secretary Blinken as he continues to speak live there from Brussels. As the White House has released the transcript of that call from Benjamin Netanyahu, the readout does say that Biden made clear the need for Israel to announce and implement a series of specific, concrete, and measurable steps to address the civilian harm, humanitarian suffering, and the safety of aid workers there. Much more coming from that call. We'll have that for you. And now we're going to bring in Congressman Mike Waltz, serves on the House Armed Services, Foreign Affairs, and Intel committees. Sir, thank you very much for joining us. We're digging through some of what we are learning was discussed on this call, including what we just heard from Secretary Blinken. Biden also emphasized to Netanyahu that the strikes on humanitarian aid workers and the overall humanitarian situation are unacceptable. Your reaction to what you have heard so far?
Thanks, Sandra. Well, I would first remind everyone that under President Biden, we had a civilian aid worker strike during the disgraceful withdrawal from Afghanistan that killed 7 children and 3 humanitarian workers. It was an awful mistake that our service members made. And clearly, this was a terrible mistake on the part of the IDF. But let's save a bit of the public righteous indignation when it comes to our ally clearly making a mistake. That is very different than what Hamas has historically done, which deliberately target, kill, and torture civilians, number one. And number two, it's just sad to me that I think for purely political reasons, so much of the ire of this White House is going on to the shoulders of the Israelis that I think are doing everything they can to avoid civilian casualties, fighting an enemy that is deliberately sacrificing its people in order to turn world opinion against Israel. And to watch this administration publicly play right into their hands is incredibly frustrating. And finally, Sandra, if we're talking about alleviating the suffering, then let's talk about things outside of just putting pressure on Israel. How about Egypt allowing people to come across the Rafah border crossing and establish refugee camps there? How about we gather the international Muslim community to actually help the Palestinians alleviate that suffering and to reform the Palestinian Authority so that they can once again provide their own security on the day after the war? But we're not hearing any discussion of that. We're only seeing the rhetorical pounding of Netanyahu and his government. And again, I think it's for purely election year politics when it comes to seeing Arab Americans walk away from this president.
Well, speaking of which, more from this call, as we know that it did conclude and it lasted about 30 minutes, we're told. As for what Netanyahu told President Biden, he said Israel can defend itself and we will act according to principle, that we will hurt anyone that hurts us. He went on to tell Biden that Iran has been working against Israel for years, and therefore Israel is operating against Iran and its proxies. Obviously, Netanyahu is sending a very firm message over the call to the White House.
Well, this has everything to do with the strike Israel just took on the Iranian consulate in Syria and took out the Iranian Quds Force officers, which I think was the exact right thing to do, because at the end of the day, the true disease here, underscoring Hezbollah, Hamas, the Houthis, all of it, the militias that killed our service members in Iraq, is Iran. And the best way we could help Israel and help end this war is dry up the cash in Iran that is fueling all of their terrorist proxies. And yet we have a bill in the House that would put secondary sanctions on the Chinese buyers of Iranian oils. We can't get that through the Senate, and that's what Biden should be talking about right now. Dry up the cash.
Good to get your reaction as Blinken continues to talk. We'll continue monitoring that. Congressman, thanks for joining us. Good to see you.
In the soft embrace of morning light, rocky and yet hopefully sight, a whisper of promise, a sense so sweet, reviving energy with every heartbeat. Oh yeah, stumbling down the stairs with grace. sacred mug and cherished embrace. Each sip, a dance of enchantment. Caffeine's elixir, a daily enchantment. Coffee in the morning, my lifeline. Guiding through life's chaotic design. Finding every sip of morning zest. In that brew, I find my best. The morning sun, a gentle caress, bathing the world in warmth no less. A symphony of flavors in every pore, awakening senses, a ritual to adore. The kitchen hums a quiet tune as dreams unfold not too soon. Pouring the elixir, stories take flight. In the world of coffee, my spirit alights. A mug cradled, a vessel of tales. Each sip, a dialogue as morning unveils. Bitterness, a new world of tales. As the day unfolds, a caffeinated tale. In morning symphony, where moments prevail. Coffee, my companion in the sunrise quest. In the ritual of morning, my eternal zest. The world awakens, a canvas so bright. In the palette of dawn, a captivating sight. A dance of flavors, a morning trance. In the world of coffee, life's sweet romance. Coffee in the morning, my lifeline. Guiding through life's chaotic design. Divine